Symphony in the streets.
They say I only rap about getting dollars. I don't see the problem. Pardon me, I thought niggas wanted out of poverty. Is it just me? If so, let me not stand in the way of your broke ass destiny. It's the check for me, cause if I ain't there to get paid, you ain't got a check for me. Can't live broke, can't die broke, cause if I die broke, I can't rest in peace. If money ain't your necessity, then send your motherfucking check to me. Hit my line, you can reach me at 1-900, nigga please. I'm disgusted online when I find my business in your debate. Boy, you'll believe anything you think Google can tell you what I make. I ain't had to buy school supplies cause I never did stop getting paper. Why you focus on how I eat when you ain't even welcome at my dinner table? Say less. Say less. Yeah. How you focus on how I eat when you ain't even welcome at the dinner table? Say less. More money, less stress. Less stress. That's our lesson for today, class dismissed. Ain't interested in half this shit. You can't name a single ass out kiss. Tony Montana showed me that the world was mine, then I hopped my ass in the blimp. Mama made me drop a bag on the rent. Either that or we gon' have to pitch a tent. We know money talks, let's talk money. You ain't talking dollars, you ain't making sense. Tell me, do you know how this shit feels? Come home, all your shit on the curb. If you know the feeling, then you know that free shit is for the birds. Nigga, say less. Say less. Say less. Money talk less, please talk more bucks. If money ain't in the conversation, then please shut the fuck up. Please, I'm begging you, please, the prettiest, please hop off my nuts. Cause the bank is about to close and I'm in a rush. Say less. Long live Phil. Yeah. Say less. Say less.
Mic check 1 2 1 2. You want beef with the king? What is you gonna do? But we back. It's Hood Tales with ConeHead. It's a lovely Sunday afternoon, and I'm just in great spirits. I'm just high energy, high positivity. This is a part 2 of episode 91, testing the waters when you can't swim, and this is the relationship edition. And I was, going through my little comments from responses from people who was, listening to the last episode, and I was asked by a dear friend of mine to do one on a relationship. So here we are. When it comes to relationships, sometimes, and this is just my observation of it, you can take good, you can take bad, but you can always learn from your past. Like, I had my situations when I had relationships, and for me, relationships vary because depending on who that young lady was at that time, it just kind of determined where I was at in my life. My first official girlfriend, I think I was like 14, 15. And the next girlfriend was high school sweetheart. The next girlfriend was basically, she was younger than me. And the girlfriend after that, I relocated to her backyard. The next girlfriend pretty much was an out-of-towner as well. She didn't live in the vicinity of where I stay. So each of these individuals were women that came into my life at one point in time, either directly or indirectly. Either God or the enemy. It just all depends on where you sit in that with it. So the first girlfriend, when I was a teenager, was like a year or two younger than me. You know, very pretty, had like money green eyes, and you know, real high yellow or whatever. But that wasn't my, you know, I didn't have a preference. I just thought she was pretty. We dated for a while. I remember she was there for one of my birthday parties that I had. I tried to get me some pussy from her. She didn't want to give me that, you know. So she went around kind of trying to diss me or something on some shit. So I had got her a necklace with a charm on it for her initial. So when I seen her later on in life, when I seen her down like some months down the road, I took it back. But see, that's my youthful me. That's the teenage me. Fast forward to high school, I ended up having a child out of this situation, which is my oldest daughter. Her mama lived in the country, stayed on a dirt road, lived in like almost like a shanty house, but that was her grandfather's house from probably sharecropper days. And the dynamic with her was, you know, she was a virgin. I'm not a virgin, but you know, I liked a lot of things about her at that point in time. You know, she seemed sincere and genuine when I was with her. You know, I met her family. Even though she had dysfunction and things like that, you know, she was pretty decent. But I didn't know she would turn into the woman that she is today. Next, another child comes out of this relationship. And this is the one where I move in with a woman for the first time in my life. We brought a son into the world. She's already had a daughter from the previous, and I look at her daughter to this day as my oldest because she's the first child I ever had to help take care of. So we live in a townhouse. She's younger, she's wilder, she's, you know, very influenced by the people, the company she keeps, her friends and things like that. So the messed up situation was like eventually, you know, it wore on me and her. Like it was too much people trying to divide and conquer what was going on between us. Because in that moment in my life, I thought that was the end. Like we finna start a family. We're gonna be long-term longevity. It didn't end that way. Fast forward, I'm tired of the city that I'm living in. I want to get closer to this other city. So I meet this young lady. You know, we exchange information, we talk, everything like this, but we start this situation out on a lie based on her not being honest with where she lives. So how you start something is how you normally end. So it started on a lie and it ended on a lie. But in the midst of that, here comes the physical abuse. And it's sad that, you know, I just got done watching Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard, and it came to, in the end, the conclusion was she was the violent one, and he never really he defended himself, but he never struck her violently. He never did anything out blatantly towards her, even though they was accusing him of drug use, alcohol, and everything like that. Same thing with mine. She was abusive based on the fact that when she get drunk, she'll want to fight because of a previous situation. And, you know, that's something that she should have, you know, I wish she would have got help for. So I relocate in her backyard, and it just turned into a whole fiasco. I got 21 domestic disturbance complaints against me because she would always call the police. And the only reason why she would call the police is because she knew I didn't like the police. So that was a weapon that she tried to weaponize against me when it came to trying to deal with me, because she couldn't shake my core foundation, because I'm not jealous of no other man. I don't care about certain shit, so it didn't bother me. So she couldn't get under my skin, and then even with the police, it didn't get under my skin. I just told them the facts and the truth. I'm like, look, I ain't put my hands on her. I might have said something to her. These words, if she take that shit and want to fight me and do all that, and then she be having her own issues, her own anger issues, and her own problems. So I relocated thinking this is where I'm supposed to be, when God was really trying to tell me I didn't even belong there in the first place. So how it started is how it ended. She began on a lie, she ended it on a lie. Last but not least, the relationship that I had with the woman that lived out further out of town, but came to me when we were, and I pay attention to the details of any woman that I meet. I listen. She told me she cheated in both of her relationships. She actually cheated with the first boyfriend with the second boyfriend. Me thinking, okay, clean slate. It didn't happen on my watch. It is what it is. Cool. 6 months of bliss, happiness, God in the middle, because we praying with each other. We doing things like that. God blessing her, got a job that she had been trying to get for 3 years with no success, and then God allowed me to come into her life, and we put principles in her, and then guess what? God blessed her, and she had that job, and it was kind of an awesome thing to see that unfold. 6 months later, boom, I catch a conspiracy case. So now God's really trying to see if this is what is really supposed to be. Now, mind you, in the midst of all that, certain things happen that was telltale signs of what was really going on. I don't live where she lives, and she don't live where I live. So I can't be around 24/7, and neither can she. So when I get arrested, I went down on the run. I went on the run with her for like 2-3 weeks, and then I came back once I thought it wasn't real. Then it became real. I get rearrested. I get taken into custody a second time. So while I'm in jail, you know, she's trying to figure it out. One day I call, she hits me up saying, I went to the doctor and they said that I had an STD. Now, I've never had an STD a day in my life, so I'm wondering where it's coming from. But I'm going to show you how God has a sense of humor. She had trichinosis. Now, one day I was going to my diabetic check to get results, so I got tested for AIDS, HIV, STDs, and my dental. I'm waiting on Auntie to give me the word. Auntie like, baby, it ain't nothing, you good. If I don't call you down here, you straight. So when I seen her, I said, Auntie, what's the word? She said, baby, you good. You ain't got nothing to worry about. I get on the phone. I call my mama and say, call old girl, tell her I ain't got that shit. So eventually in time, 2019 come around, she ends up messing with some dude off of DMing her. She get in the car, she fuck the nigga in the car without, she don't do the condom check, but she grab the dick, pause, and you know what I'm saying, make sure it's a rubber on that shit. She just sat on that nigga wood, rolled that nigga, let the nigga fuck in the car. She gets pregnant. She try to hide it from me. Then eventually, hey, she has to have a baby. But the moral to this is about relationships. I'm giving you a timeline of each relationship that I've been in. And the thing that I had to learn out of each one, all those women are different, but they all had similarities. Some of them have been molested in their lifetime. Some of them been raped in their lifetime. Some of them have been abused in abusive relationships in their lifetime. So the thing about relationships, depending on how you begin and how you end, depending on the cohesiveness that y'all have and the destruction and the demolition that you have. Relationships only works as if you two work at it together, but y'all have to be on the same page. You have to have the same common interest, and most importantly, put God in it, and then you're supposed to love each other as well. Some people can pretend and hide things better than others. Some people can manipulate better than others. But in the end, you know, if God ain't in the midst of it, it's not going to last. It's not going to work anyway. So for those who out there looking for love and searching for love and wanting to be in relationships, you have to take the time to build that common denominator, which is a bond with that person. But most and foremost, you should put God in everything you do, not just relationships, not just work, but your life as a whole. If you believe in Him, that's up to you. But like I said, relationships are what you make them. You can make yours or you can break yours. It just all depends on your actions and your decisions. Be wise beyond your years sometimes, but you can always see the Halloween costume that people wear and the mask that they try to hide. This is Hood Tales with ConeHead. I am your host for the evening, the afternoon, and the day. God bless you.